Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Disc Coverers, the only podcast online that reads, reviews, and ranks all 41 of Terry Pratchett's seminal comic fantasy novel series, Discworld. I am your host, Iris J. Pronouns are she or their, and it is my distinct pleasure to join you today or tonight, depending on when you're listening to this, with my three fabulous co-hosts. Why don't you introduce yourselves, Belina, then June, then Grace. Trying to do a different order every episode, just to make sure that it's always even. I don't know. I worry somebody's like, well, why do you always ask me to introduce myself last? And I'm like, I don't want to seem like I like any of you less.
I feel like I always go last, but I usually have the longest intro, so I'm cool with that. It makes sense to me.
Well, decide which amongst you wishes to go first, and then
I'm going first.
I don't want to rock.
I'm taking it over. I'm Juniper. She, her.
Are you colonizing these introductions?
No.
By Jingo, I'm going to introduce myself first.
You had me going from all excited to introduce myself to just remembering what we have to do today.
Putting it off as long as possible. You're welcome.
Oh, well. Anyways, as I said, I'm Juniper, she, her. I read the entire book yesterday with a splitting headache, so we'll see how well this goes.
That's a pretty good... That's the Jingo experience, really.
Yeah, I don't think it's much better if your head doesn't hurt.
It will hurt by the end, so don't worry about it. Anyways, I am Belina, she/they. I am happy to be here, not happy for what we're going to be talking about.
And I am the internet's beloved Princess Grace, she, her, fey, fair, if you're spicy. Yeah, I see why you guys were, like, so hesitant to get here. For the first half of it, I was like, oh, well, this doesn't seem all that bad, and then, God, this all happens, doesn't it?
As they say, that's how it gets you.
It wasn't as bad as I expected it to be.
Now,
but it wasn't good.
Now I do think that there is more for us to learn in the ones that we don't like than the ones that we do. That being said, this still fucking hurts after a while. I was trying to write the synopsis for this earlier today, and it took me 3 hours to write down this 2 minutes worth of text because my brain just would not let me think about this book for very long.
Yeah, I will say that, there were, it's not as nakedly racist as Interesting Times is. We're talking about Jingo, by the way. This is the Jingo episode, book 21 in the series, published originally, I think it was...
Hi, welcome to the Jingo episode. It's gonna be an experience.
If this is your first episode,
if you will.
If this is your first episode of Discoverers, I'm sorry, you done got Jingo'd. The door is right there if you want to walk back out.
Hot new prank, everyone. Talk about Jingo with your friends.
Act like you're going to talk about something good, but instead they have to realize that you've been talking about Jingo for the last 20 minutes.
Hey, do you want to read about the other watch book with gender? No, it's not Monsters Regiment. It's the trans-femme Nobby reading of Jingo.
Oh... God, I was... Okay, no, we'll get that.
That was what I was going to get to, it's not as racist as I remember, but, it made up for that by being so bad in so many other ways.
Well,
anyways,
I suppose let's do the synopsis so we can get right into it.
Okay.
Let's get out of the way.
Will last.
Belina, you worked so hard on it. We can't deprive you of this.
Yes, please.
Oh.
Take it away whenever you're ready.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
I believe in you, dear. You can do it. Get their asses.
Okay, fine. The mysterious island of Lesb surfaces in the middle of the Circle Sea, discovered simultaneously by Clatch and Ankh-Morpork, right between the two of the nation-states. Both lay claim because that's what nations do. In Ankh-Morpork, the city is getting riled up as if there were some sort of football rivalry, which comes to a head as the Clatchian prince makes an official visit on somewhat flimsy grounds. A failed assassination attempt under questionable circumstances results in a war being effectively declared. Veterinary seemingly abdicates, the watch is officially disbanded, and everyone with a big enough name starts recruiting everyone else into their armies. Vimes, no longer commander of the watch, but technically of a rank to create an army of his own, recruits the former watch members and goes on the trail of 71-hour Ahmed for the supposed bodyguard of the prince. Following his trail leads to Angua getting dognapped and half the watch commandeering a boat to give chase. The rest of Ankh-Morpork's army, such as it is, follows behind, not wanting to be left out. Vetinari, towing along Leonard of Quorum, Sergeant Colin, and Nobby, depart in Leonard's going under the water safety device, discovering the nature of Lesp as one of those bubbling aquarium attractions, then proceed towards Clatch. Disguising themselves as a performing troupe, they gather intel before heading off towards where both armies are converging, and absolutely nothing else happens there. We're never going to talk about it. Shut up. Vimes and the company make it to Clatch despite everything and are effectively rescued from their own desert incompetence by Ahmed Strub of the Diregs. Vimes has managed to piece together that 71-hour Ahmed is a policeman and has been leading Vimes through all the required motions to ensure he comes to the right conclusions to be where he is right this second. Vimes is livid but still has a job to do. The motley combination of the Watch and the Diregs manages to disrupt pre-war talks between Lord Rust and Prince Kadram, and Vimes prepares to just arrest literally everyone involved in the book so far. Vetinari shows up, delivers a formal surrender to be ratified on Lesp in a week. He's taken back to Ankh-Morpork on the theoretical charges of treason, which disappear when Lesp does, clinking back into the ocean. No island, no war, no surrender, no problem. Everyone goes home, tries to live what they've done in the name of peace. Vimes is promoted sideways into being a duke, despite his best attempts to get out of it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good summary, Belina.
Yeah, that's all correct.
Very, very
Yep.
good summary for a book that, like, I really can't begin to describe to you readers who have not read this book how much they, and by they I mean Terry Pratchett, gets you with having the first maybe quarter to third of the book be like, oh, it's another Watch book. You know, like Feet of Clay, you just read that, right? It's more Watch stuff. You like the Watch, right? And then the rest of the plot happens. And
you could.
How do you feel about Knobs and Colin's funny shenanigans?
I hope you like a
How
lot
do you feel
of it.
about Fred? How do you feel about Colin just saying like actively racist shit? Which,
Yeah.
and it does like because he's doing the equal rights thing where someone will say something shitty and then someone else will make fun of them for it. But you still have to like sit there and read Colin say like, well, you see, the problem with Clatch is that they're not white, and like that's not even like a fantasy racism metaphor. He just says that.
Yeah.
literally,
And
yeah.
And then he like, and it's because Tara's making a point about like, you know, white just doesn't mean whiteness. It's like whiteness is like whatever society decides is, you know, the good thing to be. It's arbitrary. But it's still like, I had to read that, huh? And it's still supposed to root for him?
It's weird because, like, back in earlier episodes, we had said, like Terry's whole thing about, like, humans are never racist to each other because they're too busy being racist to other fantasy races. And we're like, that seems kind of stupid. And I wish Terry would maybe interface with the idea of race a little bit more, because it's not, it doesn't, you can't just say that and hand wave racism away like that. Well, we got our monkey's paw finger wish. And I got to say, it sucks that my boy Colin had to be the guy who takes the fucking racism bullet and has to be the racism to look like an asshole in this book.
Would you say it was a magic bullet? Because I like fully half of the fully half of the APF annotation for this book are just explaining all the Kennedy assassination jokes.
Jesus Christ. I picked up on a few of the Kennedy assassination jokes, but like
Bizarre.
I didn't realize how many there were until I checked L-Space. There are a lot.
The only one that I don't think I caught originally was when they go talk to Stooley, and there's like the stealth joke that he's a grassy knoll. Okay, I said some very stupid things about racism the last time this came up, so I'm just like, mea culpa here, just acknowledging that I said a lot of dumb things then, but everything that came up in that one comes up in force here, where, like, as June pointed out last time, that this is racism, but not actually based in anything that racism comes out of. I said in the synopsis that this is like a football rivalry more than anything.
That's kind of, that's what I wanted to get into eventually is, and this has been my problem with Discworld doing racism stuff for a while, is that Pratchett doesn't actually have, like, there's no history to the world of Discworld. Not that I'm out here like, dang, you know what Discworld needs? Real exploration of colonialism. Let's see some slavery. Really want to get into that. Well, I mean, snuff does happen eventually, but that's a completely different topic. But, like, the thing is, he goes through a bunch of... Klatch is very obviously the Middle East.
It's like the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah,
and also
Ottoman Empire, but also Saudi Arabia, but also Lawrence of Arabia, the movie, but also...
Yeah, also India.
Yeah.
It's Orientalism, the place.
Yes.
Yeah. And, like, the thing is, there's no history to this. Why would they go to war with Ankh-Morpork? Well, because Ankh-Morpork is there. That's basically the only reason, because they're neighbors and they don't like each other. There's no history to it. There's no talking about things. They make vague reference to stuff, like, oh, well, in the past, like, he talks a little bit about the big book of General Tacticus, but, like, there's no real exploration of, like, the actual history between these two nations, and it means all of racism boils down to, well, we don't like these people from over there because they're different. And so the book is about not doing that, which is not...
It's a very childlike understanding of what racism is and how it originates.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this gets mentioned like one time in the book, and like all the actually said in Klatch is interminable, but like it's like, oh, this one prince is trying to unite the country, and he's going to do that with a war because, you know, oh, everyone will be united if they're all going to war with Ankh-Morpork. And it's kind of like barely mentioned. Like, that's not even really all that important.
Yeah, that in theory, I like the idea of I need to unify a country. I'll unify them by going to war against another country because nothing unifies people like political fervor, and making a point out of that in that, like, in the same way that Ankh-Morpork all kind of weirdly falls in line because yay, war, that's a thing happening. But it doesn't work because it's barely vaguely mentioned, and the culture of Klatch is like, yes, Terry Pratchett, I also watched Lawrence of Arabia, and I don't want to just keep referencing that, because there's more things he could be pulling from, but it doesn't really feel like he is.
No.
It just kind of feels like he's pulling from pop culture and vague understandings and not much else. And thus it all just kind of feels flat.
This is another one of those cases where I know we say this every episode now, but it really would have helped if we'd had more outside influences on this. Because, like, we're all Americans, and we're going to have a very different view of what war is and what the culture of it is, both of our generation and, you know, as Americans rather than British people. He's definitely tapping into a zeitgeist that none of us have any actual connection to. And obviously the point is that everyone's being stupid about it. Yes, we get that, but unfortunately we still have to suffer through everyone being stupid about it. Like, this book has way too much Colin and Nobby, who are always best as when they're just like little insets that then we go back to something actually happening, rather than getting 50 pages of just these idiots.
Yeah. I like the interesting thing about Colin and Nobby too. If this is the let's complain about Colin and Nobby minute. I think that this book maybe not only, like, I like them in small amounts, like, you know, pickle brine, but so much is so bad. And, like, in this book, they pair them up with, like, long stretches of time where they're hanging out with Vetinari, who decides to get his hands dirty in this book.
And Leonard of Quirm.
And Leonard of Quirm, you know, Leonardo da Vinci, but goofy. Who, you know, whatever.
I liked him. It was fine.
He was all right.
I did
all
write,
of the gags where they're like, he invents something that's a weapon, and it's like, why would you ever use this as a weapon? That's horrible. No man could ever be convinced to do that to his fellow man. You'd never find someone to fire it. Those were funny to me.
Okay,
I thought that was
but
I will admit I got a laugh out of, like, oh yeah, Leonard never gets anything done. He has too many fucking projects. Like, I know, Leonard, you don't have to call me out. Fuck you.
Okay, I will grant that probably my favorite actual joke in the book, partly to get this out of the way, partly because it's part of this, is, you know, Leonard basically describes a fucking hand grenade. And Vetinari is like, huh, could you make that? And then later Vetinari is carrying around a metal capsule that it sounds an awful lot like he's just gonna fucking throw a bomb at the commanders of the armies. Like, they hint at it really strongly, and just it turns out that it's just a cylinder containing a draft of the surrender. That was actually a legitimately good joke.
There's some good stuff with Vetinari. There's some good stuff there, but there's so much farting around. Literally.
I was going to say that this book made me like Vetinari less as a person. I really didn't fucking like this asshole by the end of the book. He was just so fucking smug the entire time. He never screws up. He never misses a beat. And in previous books, he has missed beats. He has screwed up. His limitations are pretty, like, he's pretty powerful, but he's not like a fucking Superman. In this book, it's like, he's the guy who's going to do everything right and has everything figured out. Fantastic.
Yeah. Of course he knows how to juggle.
This is what happens when you take your benevolent dictator on the road to other countries. Still a dictator, still sucks.
Yeah. Also, like, it is kind of weird that in the end, the end of this story is basically Ankh-Morpork pulling one over on the Empire of Klatch. Haha, we sure fooled them. England did that a lot, and that's why they're one of the more evil nations on Earth. They specifically did that to a lot of places in the areas that Klatch is based off of, and that is why they're a fucking evil country. This book is fucking weird.
Yeah, like Belina said, we're all Americans, and we're all white people, and we all grew up in America, so like we don't really have like I would like to say like I would love to have perspectives on this, but it's like if you're from Britain or a country that has been targeted by Britain in the past, we'd love to hear your opinions on this.
But also don't read this book.
Don't read this book. And also that's like everyone on the fucking planet. So it's like, okay. If you or a loved one has been targeted by Britain, you may be entitled to financial compensation.
So, there are two perspectives on the book that I genuinely love to have. One is that of like, it's slipshod, badly done. Let's just pull from whatever country Pratchett is currently thinking of. I would love to hear from someone who actually grew up in those countries, who has experience with them and like isn't white, so they could talk about how bad and also weird Pratchett is about it. I would also like to hear from like a historical perspective. I would have done research on this, but I spent a while out with a headache, and I hope things get better for me because it's been rough. But I'd love to hear from the perspective of like Pratchett's writing about war, and he's writing about Britain going to war, fantasy England. But still, what was exactly the historical context of this? Like, this is 1997. That's after the Gulf War. That's into kind of the modern age of war. But it's before, like, the Iraq War and all that. Like, what exactly was it like in England at the time in 1997 when it came to people's perspectives on war? Because he does write what he sees. What was he seeing? I don't know. I was 3 years old, and also not from England, thank God.
I know that the Discworld wiki mentions that there are parallels to the Britain versus Iceland cod wars of the 1970s, where fishing vessels from both nations sabotaged each other's nets, and a collision between opposing naval vessels led to the death of an Icelandic engineer. I also figure there probably would be some sort of parallel with the Falklands War, which was a 10-week undeclared war between Argentina and the United Kingdom in 1982 over a very small archipelago of islands off the coast of Argentina near Antarctica. Still disputed territory to this day, actually. But yeah, it's like, I don't know what in 97 would convince him to write this, and we can't ask him now. So
I'm curious.
Like,
yeah,
I get the distinct feeling that if he had written this like a few years later, there would have been like a lot more Freedom Prize jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that would have been a better or a worse book.
I think it's kind of a blessing that JINGO'd came out before 9/11.
Yeah, maybe. That's a really horribly true revelation,
You know what the worst part about the whole... going back to something. You know what the worst part about the whole Cullen and Nobby Nobbs whole thing is?
What?
One of my favorite quotes from Discworld, one of my favorite funny quotes, is them discussing war. And it's not from this book, it's from fucking Thud! I read the whole book waiting for this one quote, because, the book where Cullen and Nobby Nobbs make a bunch of random jokes about war. No, it's from fucking Thud! God damn it!
Well, Thud is a much better book, so...
I mean, I think it's an interesting point of comparison because Thud is like, also, hey, war sucks and is stupid. But Thud's point of comparison is trolls and dwarves, which don't exist in real life. You're not stealing from England and not Orientalism. Like you're not doing that, which just makes everything really weird and bad.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that I'm really looking forward to reading Thud again. Yeah. I remember that book being a banger, so...
Also, I didn't know what was going on in half the book.
Yeah, it's... The problem with it is that Terry tries to do the whole mystery thing. Like, he tries to, build it into a mystery, because it's a watch book, and his stories work really well when they have a central mystery to unravel. But then it kind of loses the thread of that.
As soon as they get on the boat, it stops being a murder mystery. And then when he gets there, Ahmed just goes, I planted literally all of that evidence. I was entirely just trying to get you to follow me. So all of that mystery shit, bullshit.
There's there's some interesting ideas. I like the idea of the whole point, even though it's kind of just badly made and mediocre, even though it's not the best point, the idea of it being Vimes being fooled by the fact that he swung in the other direction was like, well, all the people in my country are small-minded little pieces of shit, so it must be one of them. It could have done something with it, but
it tried.
That kind of... So I wanted to talk about that too, actually. I feel like with that, the entire, so much of the Clatchian characters in this book pretty much exist and converse with, Vimes and other characters from Ankh-Morpork purely on, an interaction level of giving them the racism test to see if they are doing a racism.
There's
every time that they talk, it is, I see that you are racist, or you're not as racist as I thought you would be.
Yeah, it's
racist.
so whenever someone offers you a foodstuff you find weird, it's because they're trying to prank you.
Yeah,
no one would ever offer you a food you find weird. No one would ever offer you tongue or brain to eat because it's perfectly fine food. No, it's a prank. Don't fall for it.
I feel like 71-hour Ahmed's point there about you should also assume that some Clatchians are also small-minded bastards. Be even-handed in your suspicion and paranoia. I feel like that would ring a lot truer if he hadn't just spent most of the book doing the racism test at absolutely everyone, especially Vimes. What? Also, you're being... What? If we're going to be okay, we got to do equal police work and... I don't know.
Also, it would ring a lot truer if we saw any characters. Any Clatchian characters that didn't exist just for the white people to kind of bounce around. Yeah,
we don't get a Clatchian cast. They're just kind of there as props for the story.
This book fails the racism Bechdel test.
Yeah. because there's so much, especially in the early book, of book being like they're people just like us. They do all the same shit we do. Like they're not that, we're not so different, you and I, etc., etc. But then we actually go over there, and there's a lot of fucking. Futurama the Forder shit, like, look at me, I'm from somewhere else. Look at my weird passport. It's so.
I think part of the issue with that is that like the book is so concerned with making a point about how racism is bad, and actually in the end like doing the same gag over and over again of like Colin says something racist and all the Klatchian people around him are very normal in ways that make him look like the embarrassed one, or Vimes does something and it's like, oh, you fool, or such. Like doing that bit over and over again, we don't actually see the mystery. We don't actually see, like, the story that's happening. It just keeps doing that. Like, they kind of just reveal what's going on with the prince at the very end, and it's quick and forgettable and not good.
I'll be honest, by the time that happened, I kind of forgot about the prince.
Yeah, I forgot there were two princes.
Kneel before you, that's what I said now.
Yeah, I was going to make the joke, but you beat me to it. But yeah, I forgot that there were two princes, especially because, like, I don't think I could tell you a single thing about how Prince Kadram or Prince Kufura, like, acted, other than, like, I think one of them's supposed to be an asshole, and one of them's not an asshole. But they both do the racism test, so I know that they're both very excited to see who's the racist. If you're going to give me court intrigue, you need to give me something intriguing to see.
The racism test isn't the worst. To defend Pratchett, it's not the worst gag to do. It's a if you're doing a thing where it's just, like, if you're doing a thing where it's like,
there's so much of it.
It just happens every character over and over again to the point that they don't have other characterization.
Yeah.
I just want to know more about who these guys are. I want to know more about their history. I want to know what the fuck is up with 71 Hour Ahmed. He seemed like an interesting character, except for all of the times when he's just there as a foil that doesn't do anything.
Yeah. If you had told me from the beginning, like, yeah, this is Klatch's Vimes, and he does things differently, and his way of doing things and Vimes' way of doing things, well, they don't always see eye to eye. If you had, like, started from the jump with that would have made for maybe a really interesting book about the ideas of, like justice in a very concentrated population center versus justice on the borders and justice in a war zone and stuff like that. Like, who gets to decide that kind of thing? How do we make these judgments? How do we retain our sense of structure within a law enforcement organization when the situation is wildly different? But we don't even get into that when Vimes is in Klatch. It's just kind of like...
They vaguely get into it, but it's once again, it's really weak because they don't explore Klatch that much. They don't really... Mm-hmm. It doesn't have an idea of what this place really is. It has some ideas, but it's underdeveloped, and that needed to be a really solid focus of the book. He needed to spend a lot less time going, haha, racism bad, here's funny joke about racism bad, and more time actually thinking about this place, what it is, how it functions. The whole thing of, like, this place isn't actually unified. It's mostly like tribes going to war against each other. How do you execute justice in a place like that? And what does that look like? That could have been interesting.
Yeah,
it's not.
That's a really interesting hook for a book, but they don't go into it at all.
And so you're left to fill in Klatch with, like, the stereotypes he keeps kind of gesturing at to make fun of them, but, like, by the end of it, you have this place. It's all just weird stereotypes, and I don't really want to imagine it as oh yeah, it's this big sandy place full of you seem like you want me to imagine Aladdin, Sir Terry, but I think you would also make fun of me for making that comparison. So what do you want?
Yeah.
You can't define a country by what it isn't.
It bothers me especially because it could have been good. There's moments that make me go, oh, this could have been interesting. There's stuff I really liked about the book. The beginning is... I love a good... Here's a murder mystery with Vimes. That's always going to be interesting.
Yeah, and he immediately does this little Columbo thing. That's my third note here. Is him going well, I'd love to believe you, but can we at least check the manifests? Oh, the manifest got destroyed too. Well, at least I can smell the cargo hold, right? It still smells like fish, I imagine. It's very good.
Yeah.
Now, my wife, Sybil, she loves seafood. Can't get enough of it. She's always trying to make me eat it. I liked that. I liked one of my favorite things about this book, actually, is we get to see Carrot and Angua working together on the beat. And when they're working together, they're very cute because they finish each other's thoughts and stuff. And Carrot uses his knowledge of the city and its denizens, and Angua uses her werewolf powers, and they kind of they respect each other's skill set without stepping on each other's toes. It's really great. I love that. I love them as a little buddy cop duo. It's very cute.
And Angua gets play off of Carrot really well, and there's a whole thing where okay, so I forgot this till I'm looking back at my notes, but we get two characters two dudes disguising themselves as women and kind of enjoying it and running with it in this book.
Oh god, are we gonna go into this?
It happens with Carrot, and then Angua transgenderously says something about I know what it's like to live a lie, to Carrot's weird fake tits, and then the thing happened with Nobby later.
The thing definitely happened with Nobby later, for sure.
Yeah.
It's deeply frustrating because Betty had so much more going for her than Nobby ever has and ever will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Transition, kid.
If the series just gone oh yeah, so Knobs goes by Betty as a first name now, and that's just how it is. That'd be great.
That'd be so, especially if they had if it just remained exactly the same in every way.
Yeah, no other changes.
Yeah, this is literally just a find replace.
Still a weird little trash gremlin who steals things off of dead bodies, but girl now. That's a fucking transgender icon right there.
Not non-binary gremlin Nobby would be an icon.
Also good. Yeah. Get on that fanfic, listeners, please.
Maybe I don't know if you want to spend that much time thinking about this book or about Nobby, but if you are the sort of person who can bear that, it's a solid idea.
If you really hate yourself that much, here's a great new avenue to hate yourself with.
If you, dear listener, are rushing to write Jingo Fix-It Pick.
I have a friend who wrote a fan fiction work the length of the entire Bible based on story elements from Star Trek Picard. So believe me when I say, people will make a silk purse out of a sow's ear if they want to.
Yeah, hi, I'm Princess like Sequestria Girl's Grace. I get it.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to talk about. The book is just so uneven and weird and bad, and it's not as bad as it could be. It's not Interesting Times racist, where it's just throwing actually racist jokes at you.
Yeah, it's trickier because you keep seeing the better book underneath. This is the same problem we had with Pyramids, kind of, where it's I could see the bones of a better book in here somewhere, but it's just not even in a remotely good direction. Also, speaking of Sybil, by the way, there was kind of a weird little, I don't know if any of y'all picked up on this. It could have gotten lost in the noise. There's this weird thread about how Sybil felt like Vimes kept using every excuse that he got to run off into a chase or whatever because he didn't like doing fancy hoity-toity things. But also, it kind of seemed like she was worried that he didn't like spending time with her. And he doesn't spend a lot of time with her or talk with her or whatever. But that doesn't get resolved by the end of the book at all. She
nope.
just is kind of like, oh yeah, well, you got to do what you got to do. Good luck with that, Sam.
That's
supposed
my cop husband.
Yeah, we're supposed to believe that Vimes getting promoted to a duke at the end of the book is supposed to make her feel better. When, like, if I were Sybil, I think I would feel better knowing my husband is not constantly throwing himself into the jaws of death just to try to escape spending time with me.
Yeah, like, I would... Yeah, like, I feel like if I were in Sybil, I want, like... Yeah, being a duchess is great and all, or whatever, but, like, I want to have I want to have dinner with my loved one at some point.
Yeah.
Like, and, like, we, the reader, know that he does enjoy spending time with her, but, like... he likes her cooking and such, but, like...
Yeah. You wouldn't know it from this book. I don't know.
Yeah, because, like, we get some cute little moments from, like, when Vimes goes out to raise an army, he's like, I'm going out to kick some ass, dear. It's like, oh, have fun. Like, that was cute. I like that. But, yeah, it's so...
The book could have used a lot more of her and a lot less of everything else that was in it.
Yeah, it would have been nice. Like, I don't know I don't know, as if we needed like a C or a D plot, but I at least would like to see Sybil. Mm-hmm. It would have been nice to see someone who's not being racist in Clatch.
I love that we haven't talked once about the mysterious island of Leshp, and we're like 40 minutes in.
It's a big pumice stone. You're welcome.
Yep.
It floats up for like about a week every couple decades, and it goes. Falls back under the ocean.
Like I said, it's one of those bubbling aquarium attractions.
What was going on with those buildings, though? What about the squid mosaics? What was happening there? Hey!
Was it the curious?
It feels...
What's with these...
Now you're talking about it, it feels a bit like this was kind of... that he swerved directions a few times during this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
the
with these
APF
rough-hewn cyclopean structures?
Yeah, like, the APF says it's a weird Lovecraft reference.
Well, absolutely. Like, it's describing a bunch of weird, wrong geometries, tentacles everywhere. Like fucking Rylith comes up out of the ocean and drives the whole world insane. It was a very naked Lovecraft reference, but he doesn't do anything with it because it just fucking disappears.
We spend the only time we spend on Leshp is like. Every now and again, we cut back to, like, the fishermen arguing with each other, and, like, it's like, Dad, maybe you should stop being racist. No, son, I have to do racism for my country.
Sorry, it's not funny. It wasn't, it's literally not funny for the entire book.
There's the one gag of them mixing up their sons, and then just running back and both simultaneously going, oh, and a kidnapper as well, I see, and then switching sons.
Yeah,
that was funny.
That was pretty good.
But that's the one good gag, and then they keep doing that bit for the entire book, and I never found it funny.
Side question. So the first 2/4 people who find it just fucking stay there for the entire book. How the hell did word get back to both mainlands?
Well,
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, you're right, because they leave at the beginning, but then it's the
Hey.
same people.
Yeah, like...
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, like, it's implied they go back to... it's implied they, like, go back, but then...
But then they go back again really, really fast?
Because, they found it, right? They have to get credit for... I don't know if I want to, like... I forget what the book says. I don't care enough to go back to look.
Yeah. Hey, that's a great point.
The most charitable reading of this is they both start to head back to the mainland until they find literally anybody, say, hey, send this word back, and then they both turn around and go back to the island.
Yeah, are they carrying pigeons?
But no, this happens. It just happens. Information travels whether or not there are people involved.
They just shouted real loud, hey, we're doing a colonialism over here. Anybody want in?
Hey, we found this.
What's the point of doing a colonialism if there's nobody there to subjugate?
It's like the joke about how since when a king dies, the throat is transferred instantaneously. You can transmit information by torturing a small king and.
Right.
That's another problem with this book is like, why are they going to war? Well, they both want this country that just rose out of the sea. They're both going to colonize it and take it over immediately. And they hate the other people because they might lay claim to it. It's such a deeply...
Okay.
It seems like the view is just like, well, look at all the evil colonialism England did. But everyone would do that given half the chance. That's just how countries are,
Okay.
Countries just do this because they're like that.
Yeah,
and it's such a fucking awful thing.
Okay, I know that we're supposed to say it's incredibly stupid that both these countries want this stupid little rock in the middle of nowhere. We're supposed to say this is incredibly stupid. And the book says, yeah, it's kind of incredibly stupid either of them care about this. Look, I'm even going to sink it so it goes away. But, again, it doesn't go anywhere. Because, again, the island just briefly exists and then it doesn't.
I kind of forgot they were fighting over the island about halfway through. Both because, I started reading it, then I had friends in town for, a week, so I didn't get much reading done, then I picked it back up. But then also, it doesn't really matter that much, especially because once you learn that, Leshp never really, actually mattered to Clatch. It was always, the whole point of it was to manufacture a casus belli for Prince Guy to declare war on Ankh-Morpork to unite the country.
The bad one who didn't almost get assassinated.
Yeah, and presumably if the island didn't show up, he would have invented some other thing, right?
Well, the thing is, the island showing up just raises tensions in general. Then the non-shitty prince comes, well, the less shitty prince, comes to Ankh-Morpork on this flimsy, I'm going to accept a doctorate from the Unseen University because every year they have this big to-do and they need to do something. So they're just going to give me this diploma in Sweet Fanny Adams. Mm-hmm. And then the assassination is what actually kicks off the war.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't do a good job explaining this stuff.
Yeah. It all felt kind of pointless. Because, and especially because there's a running joke in the book where, someone asks, well, why are we doing this? And, it kind of goes back and forth for a while to, wait, but then why would X do Y about Z? Well, you see, it's politics. Politics, I see.
It also, the ending is really, okay, I get that the point is that the war becomes a weird farce, that they're all prepared to fight, and then it becomes, but it's so confusing and baffling that it doesn't come across as haha, we stopped it by making it dumb. It just feels confusing. I didn't really get what was going on at the end. I don't want to judge it too hard on this because, like I said, I read the entire book in one day with a splitting headache. But also, it just the entire sequence where they get to the war to stop it just felt.
Yeah,
I couldn't figure out what was going on half the time.
Vimes arrests the guy, the enemy general or the other prince or whatever, and then while Kara does a Christmas truce and gets them all to play soccer instead.
Yeah, which is its own weird thing. All right, I'll solve this problem. Let's play the British sport. That'll fix this.
Yeah.
That is, at least based on a thing that happened, but it's still, weird to see.
Yeah, but the Christmas truce was between England and Germany. It was World War II. Yeah. It was a European area.
I'm actually not sure why it was important for Vimes to be there, because Vetinari just shows up and fixes everything.
I feel like he was trying to make a point about how when you kill a man in the heat of battle, it's called a crime. But if a soldier kills another man on the battlefield, it's called heroic. But if a man kills another man in the heat of passion, it's called a crime or whatever. Whatever the guy said in Wayne's World 1. I feel like he's trying to make a point about how come we don't arrest the war pigs who are slaughtering people en masse just because they're doing it for a country, but it doesn't super work. It feels I know that war is bad, Terry. I could have guessed that. Yeah, it would be nice if we could arrest them, but that.
There's at least that one little moment after Vimes gets back and his butler is just very obviously traumatized from the fact that he just watched several of his friends die and he bit another dude's nose off, and he comes back, he's like, well, what was it all for? And Vimes just kind of shrugs because there's no answer. There isn't an answer.
Yeah, like you don't die for your country. You try to get the other guy to die for his country. That's the point.
No, but no, just specifically like, okay, so the war didn't mean anything, so why did I just kill those people?
Yeah, like all the people who died, they died for no reason, because that's what war is.
But then we just kind of bounce to the next thing immediately, so
No, yeah. Sorry, but like this book had like multiple endings, and none of them were good.
Yeah,
it kept going. I kept like looking at little.
This was some like Lord of the Rings movie shit.
Like, okay, I'm like 95%. I gotta hit the footnote soon and be done, or the about the author and be done. Like, no, like nope. We have to have Vimes and Vetinari. Nope, we have to go back to Ankh-Morpork.
Yeah, no, like.
But what do Fred and Nobby have to say about all this?
yeah. Fred and Nobby have to look at the racist pub they looked at earlier and decide it's bad now.
I've decided not to do a racism today.
I remarked when we were trying to read this that I swear like Zeno had to have written the last 10% of the book, because I would read for a while, go, okay, it's got to be over soon, 95%. Keep reading, okay, it's got to be over soon, 97%, 98%, still 98%, still 98%.
Hey, the two guys on the cited on the Wikipedia page for Jingo under reception who liked this. What the fuck book did you read?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Can I read those aloud?
Please,
because that was really.
Yeah. Tell us what John Clute of Interzone said.
In Interzone, John Clute described Jingo as fitting seamlessly into the Discworld, commenting that it does not dishonor its predecessors in the series, and he spelled it with a U, so you know that he's a very fancy critic, and is in fact better than most of them. Clute also compared Pratchett's writing to that of P.G. Wodehouse, and noted the presence of totemic moments, and of several scenes which he felt to be homilies. He sounds like a riot at parties. Escape Pod stated that a significant portion of the plot is Vimes subverting the status quo in ways that shouldn't work, but somehow do anyway. No, they didn't. The SF site ranked it above Feet of Clay, but not quite as good as Guards.
Hey, Todd Richmond. Hey, Todd Richmond of the SF site. What the fuck book did you read?
I don't think this is as good as Guards, but it's definitely better than the story that has Clay of my clay, thou shalt not kill, Dorfal's origin story. Like, go fuck yourself.
Todd Richmond, if you're listening to this, we just want to talk. Like, did you read Feet of Clay?
I know I've said in the past that the whole ranking system is really just an excuse to get me and 3 other extremely cool people I know together to talk about this great book series that also is full of problems. But I've actually changed my mind back on that. There is an objectively correct ranking of these books, and this is not going above Feet of Clay. I'm sorry, just to ruin things ahead of time, this is not better than Feet of Clay.
Yeah, I feel like we gotta read Todd's other reviews.
Is this guy just like the Robert Christgau of SF book reviews or something?
I mean, I'll admit, I assumed SF stood for San Francisco, but it does appear to stand for science fiction.
Yeah, it's science fiction. Or speculative fiction, if you want to be fancy about it.
Okay, but Todd is from San Francisco, so...
Oh, so he's an SF?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, speaking of things that are hilarious, what was your favorite joke from the book? Heyo, Editor Iris here. We lost a little bit of audio due to tech issues around this point in the recording. Just so you know, I'm referring to Leonard of Quirm in this next part. Okay, peace. Even in the Discworld, when he's drawing the submarine, the bigger submarine that he's making plans for, he makes sure to draw the dudes of the oars as, I think it describes them as like, well sculpted and scantily clad. Even Discworld Leonardo da Vinci is fucking gay. Yeah. You cannot deny that.
Like, fellas, is it gay to let another man, like, keep you in a secret little hiding place?
I liked the bit with Carrot and Angua. I liked a lot of the first book.
Yeah.
The opening scene with Vimes is fucking awesome, where he's, like, talking about the low-key arms smuggling with the boat and doing the Columbo thing.
Yeah. Love that for him.
The stuff at the start is nice. I like the start of the book really good.
Yeah, like when I started reading this, I was like, oh, is this the book is this the book my co-host hate?
I actually like the I feel bad for forgetting their names, but the family with the curry.
The Gorifs.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were great, especially as like no, I've been living here for like 10 years, man. I know how this goes.
But my son was born here. He can't go back to Clatch. He's never been there. He's from here.
They were like a hint of a story that did this better.
Yeah. And like okay, there's something I think kind of revealing about how Pratchett thinks about the police. In that, look, Ankh-Morpork is actually incredibly small. I know that it's supposed to be London. I know it's supposed to be miles and miles in any direction, but everybody knows everybody. When Vimes comes to defuse the riot, he just says that he does this mostly by picking out everybody in the crowd. He knows everybody. If something happens, he knows who did it because he knows the criminals. He knows everybody, and everybody else knows everybody else.
And
Ankh-Morpork is tiny.
And this comes at like 71 Hour Ahmed is like, Vimes, you can walk the diameter of your city in half an hour. Like, it's not that big.
And like the way that justice effectively works in Ankh-Morpork only works because it's actually a small community. Like a very small group it is much easier to police when everybody knows everybody. A lot of the big problems with a real police force is the fact that nobody knows one another, and there's no empathy between one another. There's no. I'm getting into completely the wrong discussions.
Yeah, you can't Andy Griffith everything away. Like past a certain point, you can't just like pointing out like I'm going to tell your mother if you don't put that down. Like that doesn't scale.
Yes, thank you. And again, that's one of the reasons why the Watch just seems so wildly unrealistic, is because they're doing this in a fucking city.
A small city.
And somehow it actually works.
And even if Vimes doesn't know everybody, Carrot absolutely does. But yeah, it's a book that would have explored those topics more.
I mean, that can wait for the books that are actually about that, I guess. No, it is a very small view, and it is the view of somebody who... I'm not saying this as like a flaw in his character, but just he did not have the kind of experiences, he did not have the kind of information in front of him to really question this view, because this is also the view that we're taught. I feel like I've been sitting up here and just I feel like I've been trying to be positive most of this episode. I'm not always succeeding at it, but
yeah, I'm trying to get back to liking things. I'm trying to think of my favorite joke. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go to favorite joke because, yeah.
I liked the part where he was getting appointments from the other timeline. Like I thought it was genuinely kind of chilling when Vimes like got the notifications like all of your fucking friends are dead. Like that was genuinely decent writing
ruled.
And kind
they
of
fell
chilling.
out of a better book.
And
yeah, that was
like,
cool.
Yeah, from a writing perspective, it's an interesting way of like talking about what could have been and dealing with the branching timeline. But like, the whole bit was like, these confounded personal organizers. It's a fucking Seinfeld bit where like Elaine's PDA won't go off, and the Russian novelist throws it out the window and hits some lady in the head. Like, it's a very like VCR blinking 12 o'clock 90s joke, right? Like cell phones are annoying, but they're annoying in a different way.
Yeah, just happens.
Yeah, it's just look at this annoying modern convenience I ported backwards into this fantasy land. Wouldn't it be annoying if it was like this?
It's very much a device from 1997, though, because I can think of devices that were approximately as helpful.
Yeah, no, it's a VCR blinking 12 o'clock joke. It has not aged very well, but like not in like a racist way, just in a, like devices are annoying in different ways now. Like if it were today, the disorganizer would just like constantly like, I don't know, giving Vimes depressing news and doom scrolling at him or something.
I will say, we're talking about things from Jingo that we actually liked. One thing that I liked, while I feel like the whole of Colin and Nobby's grand foreign adventure is best left consigned to the dustbin of history, there was a bit where Veterinary and them are doing a street performer routine. The patrician scooped up 3 melon halves and positively skipped over to a stall that a woman had just set up, snatching an egg from a basket as he went past. Sergeant Colin blinked again. This was not real. The patrician didn't do this sort of thing. Ladies and gentlemen, you see an egg. And here we have a melon rind. Egg, melon, melon, egg. We put the melon over the egg. His hand darted across the 3 halves, switching them at bewildering speed. Round and round they go, just like that. Now where's the egg? What about you, Shah? Al-Jibla smirked. It's the one on the left, he said. It always is. Lord Veterinary lifted the melon. The board below was eggless. And you, noble guardsman? It's got to be the one in the middle, said the guard. Yes, of course. Oh, dear, it isn't. The crowd looked at the last melon. They were street people. They knew the score. When the object can be under one of 3 things, and it's already turned out to not be under 2 of them, then the one place it was certainly not going to be was under the 3rd. Only some kind of gullible fool would believe something like that. Of course there was going to be a trick. There always was a trick, but you watched it in order to see a trick done well. Lord Veterinary raised the melon nevertheless, and the crowd nodded in satisfaction. Of course it wasn't there. It'd be a pretty poor day for street entertainment if things were where they were supposed to be.
That was a good bit. Yeah. That was a good bit.
Yeah.
Because it's true.
That's
Every
great.
single
that might be my favorite. Like it's like going to a magic show and like nobody in the crowd is leaning over to the person they came with going like, I wonder what's going to happen to that lady. Do you think that she's going to bleed a whole bunch when they stick the swords into her or whatever? Like, no, you go there to see the correct execution of the trick. You were there to get satisfactorily hoodwinked.
Yeah, I'm here to be consensually bamboozled. Like,
yeah. This is all really a big cake scene when you think about it.
Yeah. I've talked about my sex top hat before, though maybe not on this podcast. But I know I've mentioned it to you specifically, Iris. You were there for that.
I understand. It's a good hat. That was pretty fun. Then Veterinary demonstrates that he knows how to juggle despite never trying it, and he gets a donkey down for the top of the minaret, and it's just like, okay, that's enough, Chief. You already proved it with the cup and balls trick. You don't have to gild the lily.
I liked the juggling joke mostly because of the whole bit of juggling. Yeah, I mean that's hard, but have you tried running the city? Like it just being like, that's nothing compared to managing the city itself. This was easy. It's not the best gag, but it's funny in the comparison of like, oh, his job is so bad the rest of the time.
No, it's more of a joke of like his entire form of governance is tricking people into behaving in the way he wants them to. So it's a joke about, oh, I only have to make 3 or 4 things go in the direction I want to, not 40 or 50. This is cake. But I also like that, we go through all of that. We go through the donkey up the minaret. It comes down and he says, okay, now we really need to run. Wait, why's that? Because I just stole that carpet.
Yeah, it's a good way to end it with just this was just a distraction.
It was a way to get them to go get a flying carpet, and then
that was just taking advantage of the opportunity as it was. But again, there were good bits in here because it's still a Discworld book after the first few. If we didn't know what Terry was actually capable of, we probably would be less cruel to it. We'd still be pretty cruel because there's a lot of objectively shitty things here, but part of the reason we're so angry is because we know what can be.
Like, By the end of it, my notes got pretty far apart because I stopped running out of things that were like different or worth commenting on. But there were a few. There was a guy named, I think he's Crumbling Michael, but my version of the book had a typo where they called him Cumbling Michael.
No, that was the book. That's what his name is, Cumbling Michael.
There's a part where they say, yes, very wise a bunch, and I found that funny for reasons that Sir Terry could not have predicted.
If only there was a demon we could keep in our pockets that would post to Wisdom, the #1 app.
The Wisdom app. there's a bit where when they're all getting their fake names, that Colin starts going by Al, which goes on an earlier joke because Al is just the word for the, but that's all paying up to a joke where Colin says, "You can call me Al," like the Paul Simon song. And the bit at the end where
oh my God! And Nobby's fake name is Betty. I can call you Betty, and Betty, when you call me, you can call me Al.
You can call me Al.
Jesus,
yeah.
Fucking! I just got.
Yeah. Yeah, like that was pretty good. Like I enjoy the music of Paul Simon too much now to appreciate that. There and the bit at the end where Vetinari is like insisting that Vimes arrest him for treason, and he's just being as much of a dramatic bitch about it as possible. Like, no, I insist, put me in cuffs. Do you have more cuffs? Can you put me in shackles? We don't have shackles? Well, I authorize you to buy some shackles for next time. We must do this right. You can go get a hurdle from the sporting goods store. If I need to be carried to the gallows on a hurdle. Like, we're going to do this right. Like, I can vibe with, like, if I'm going to be brought for treason, I have to be done up as much as possible. Especially because for maximum embarrassment, where he gets of course he didn't do treason. Whatever.
Grace, I just need to point out that I fucking adore that you dropped into rarity voice for just a couple of seconds there.
Of course, it's the right voice for this.
That's why it's funny. That's why it's funny.
Vetinari is in many ways the rarity of Discworld. When you think about it,
it kind of is. Like, they have a lot in common. I think nobody talks about this.
I enjoyed the gag at the very beginning where Carrot is completely failing to be in disguise.
Because he's wearing a Mr. Potato Head costume.
Yeah, they're calling him, like, Mr. Spudsy Face or whatever. It's good.
Yeah, and he goes to the library, and the librarian is just like, I of course don't recognize you, Mr. Potato.
yeah, it's a good bit.
It's a good, yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
And, like, some of the Kennedy assassination jokes were all right. Like,
the grassy knoll joke is pretty incredible.
Yeah. I didn't realize grassy knoll until I read it later. Like, oh god damn it. There was a second Bowman. They got shot from the Ogborg Pork Schoolbook Depository. The library.
Oh yeah, shit.
I don't have context, but there was some kind of joke about, the situation is grave. Well, whose?
Yeah, there are bits here and there.
So it was pretty slim pickings by the end because I started like writing down when there was a character named Grace.
Yeah.
It was like someone's wife who gets mentioned once.
Oh, you know what? I'll say this. The other thing I liked about this book, this was our first book where we got I think it was the first book anyways, where we got an appearance by fully deputized Red Shoe, officer of the law.
Oh yeah,
because
he gets press ganged in like a few books ago when like Vimes is like putting out a call for everyone, and then I'm glad he comes back. I'm glad Reg is here, and he's evolved from like weird joke about activists to like a guy who's handy to have around.
He will evolve further, and I am excited for it.
I'm happy for Reg. He goes from like kind of a weird joke about like those undead rights activists, you know how they are, to like, oh yes, big man in the undead community, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's a guy I love to see. Just glad to see him in this book.
This has absolutely nothing to do with the book, but rather, I just want to say I appreciate that the Wikipedia page for this book has a plot summary that does my absolute favorite thing bad plot summaries do on Wikipedia, which is just hot linking a bunch of random words to their articles.
Yeah, did you also see the one where hot links his wife for Vimes?
Hold on now.
He has an inflatable football in his backpack, and inflatable football and backpack all linked to Wikipedia articles.
Aren't all footballs inflatable?
This book is pretty good.
Inflatable football.
I'm a little hazy on the concept of a backpack, though. You're gonna have to explain that to me from first principles.
Like, I was looking at this earlier, like, if you mouse over his wife, it links to the the page on vibes, but the section on Lady Sybil. But his wife, you said. I do love wives.
Hold on. Google, give me all the information you have on wife. Who is wife? What is wife?
Okay, so when Nobby gets force femmed, him getting in touch with his femicide is linked to the page on the anima and animus. I kind of have this with linked to like the page on transgenderism or something.
This was done by a high schooler.
Discover that Lush is actually floating on top of a huge bubble of gas. Gas, of course, is one of the 4 fundamental states of matter. Just in case you didn't know.
It's so good. Oh, what is a surrender? Oh, you don't say. I do appreciate that it does link football, but it does link to the page on soccer.
Okay, that's good.
Oh wait, hang on. Also, there's and play a game of football, parentheses, he has an inflatable football, and those link to 2 different definitions of football. Good job. One is for the sport, and the other is for the ball.
The ball, yeah.
I was going to say, when Nobby started acting completely differently while he was dressed as Betty, would you say that he desynced from the animus there?
Yeah, he was kind of having his Assassin's Creed moment, I would say. Like, I think he kind of activated his girl vision. Oh, okay. Other good joke. When Nobby is in girl mode, she is like, she's like regaling the other Kalachian woman with raunchy stories. It's like, oh, we've never heard anything like this. And she's like, oh, really? Like, I've got 1,001 of these.
Hey-oh.
Honestly, I think Nobby should just stay behind and girl mode from then on.
I think girl mode Nobby has the potential to really be something, and I'm serious. If any of you write fix it
like,
for this, that'd be great.
I think
I'd really love to read it.
This is my biggest conclusion of the entire book, is that this could have been something really interesting. Clatch could have been a really interesting place. All of the stuff they talk about could have been interesting. The situation of war could have been fucked up and genuinely difficult to, like, oh wow, that's really messy, and the threat of it could have been real. The culture of this place could have been funny in the way that Pratchett makes fun of British culture, but with an actual understanding of the cultures that it's pulling from. And it wasn't, so it just makes me want to read someone else who has. So maybe someone will do that someday. Maybe someone out there is someone's probably already doing it with something else, but I don't know. Maybe I can dream of a fanfic that's just like, I just wanted to write a ton about Clatch from Discworld and turn it into a real place.
I would like to point out that I googled transgender Nobby knobs, and someone did ask Sir Terry about this at one point.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
But they also say Sergeant Nobb's explorations of his female side in the recent books, which implies this happens again.
Oh boy.
I don't remember this ever happening again.
I
don't
remember it at all. We'll see.
Again. Yeah.
Like,
oh God.
We'll fucking see.
Like obviously Anguish trans. I love that for her. I know we're going to get more. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, rootin' for you, Betty. A+. For all those weird little guys who,
all us weird little guys who happen to be girls. Thank you so much for being you.
Who turned out to be horny little freakish trans woman. Love that for you. Live your truth, kid. I say, talking to someone who's like, Nobby's like 50, right?
Nobody knows.
Nobby is somewhere between ages 25 and 9,000. I have no idea.
This is the most I've ever liked Nobby.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, he's the one that's not racist over the course of the whole book.
Yeah.
Or sexist,
I'll give Nobby this. He's the one who's like always like kind of like hinting at, gee, Fred, that was kind of a fucked up thing to say just now, wasn't it?
Well, do we want to try and do the rankings?
Yeah, I was going to say, do we want to try the rankings? First off, I'm going to say we're not putting it above Feet of Clay. This is not happening.
I would never. I feel bad for Feet of Clay. Like, that's an insult to it.
That is patently fucking ridiculous. I had like a
okay.
physical reaction to that.
Okay, I'll say one more thing, which is I always kind of enjoy when we go to a new place and we meet their regional dippler.
Yeah,
That's a good gag. That's a good gag.
A local
and I hope they
dippler.
keep doing it.
Like here we meet Al-Jibla, I think it is, and like it's not even remarked upon. We just like we do get a little bit like Vimes and 71-hour Ahmed are talking, and they're both like no, they're both talking about Pork Dippler, but we do briefly meet Al-Jibla, who's and like this happened often enough that the board doesn't even like need to tell us what kind of guy he is. We just like, okay, no, this is this region's Dippler. We get it.
They literally lampshaded because Vimes is like, I'll bet you that he has a name. It's something about like cutting his own throat or something, right?
No, that was like Nobby and Colon. That wasn't Vimes.
Oh shit, never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do that bit where they're like, look, there's got to be someone like this, and his name is going to be something like this, and they immediately stumble on him.
Yeah. And meanwhile, like Vimes and Ahmed are like, you never forget those sausages, do you?
Man,
It's a shame we never got a Discworld book where they all meet each other and invent capitalism 2 together.
Like we have like the Grand Council of the Dipplers or whatever.
Hey, that's another thing. The one character from Clutch that we're most supposed to emphasize with went to school in Ankh-Morpork. And that's why he's so smart and cool.
Yeah, he went to the assassin school.
There's so much about this book that just makes me go, why did you choose that?
They did kind of pull a reverse Lord Hong with him. Yeah, sorry to bring that up, but
unfortunately, the opposite of Lord Hong is also shitty. So
yes, exactly.
Anyways,
rankings.
I'm looking at the rankings here, and we've got a problem because like anything we put this above, I'm gonna feel sorry for.
I'm gonna say
feel bad for Eric.
Okay.
So hold on. I think it's better than Eric. I'm gonna be real. I think it's better than Eric. Where I was personally thinking on this list was somewhere around like sorcery or pyramids.
I was probably going to give it the 15 slot myself of putting it in between equal rights and pyramids.
I think it's better. It's absolutely better than sorcery because at the very least, this book went when you go to a place that's vaguely Middle Eastern Orientalist, racism bad instead of racism funny. As sorcery constantly did.
I would even say it's perhaps better than pyramids.
See, the thing is, I would read Pyramids again, maybe. If I really was pressed for it. Maybe I would read Pyramids again. The idea of reading it again doesn't fill me with the same dread that reading this again does. Maybe that's because it's less fresh in my mind. Again
before Pyramids.
Yeah? Okay. Would you say that it's better or worse than Equal Rights?
I would say Equal Rights was better.
Yeah, Equal Rights is so nothing, but I enjoyed nothing more than this book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, Equal Rights is an apt comparison because they both, I said this earlier, but they both do the thing where, like, someone will say some fucked up shit and someone else will be like, well, that's a backwards viewpoint you should feel silly for having, and here, I'm going to make fun of you for it. And, like, this book maybe does that somewhat more skillfully sometimes, but it's also just harder to read because it's like, because it's doing it. When Equal Rights does it, you have to like look at the weird sexism. When it does this, you have to look at the weird racism, and it's harder to look at the racism.
Here's my take. I think that if we were looking at this not having immediately finished reading it, it might get as high as like above Moving Pictures.
Wow.
But because we just finished it, I have to agree. I cannot put it like, I can put it above Pyramids and that's it.
If you have to factor in that handicap, you have to remember that all of these books were ranked right after we read them. So like all of these books are getting graded on that rubric.
I mean, there is absolutely always going to be a recency bias.
Yeah. I think that putting it above Pyramids and below Equal Rights is a good spot. I'm satisfied with that. Everybody else
is feminism better or worse than racism?
I just want to point out the fact that I don't think I fully parsed the fact that the bottom 5 books are all Rincewind books.
Yeah. And you know what?
Yeah.
That's a great reminder for you to mention our next episode, where we may get a 6th in there with The Last Continent, the last Rincewind book in the series, where he goes to Fantasy Australia.
If you're a Rincewind apologist, you have one more chance for your boy to pull a rabbit out of his hat. Though he's kind of a shitty wizard, so I don't think he could.
He does come back in Unseen Academicals, though, right?
Yeah, no, he shows up.
He's in The Last Hero.
Yeah, no, and The Last Hero, yeah. Huh.
Well, this is the last Rincewind goes to a place and does a thing book.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
No, because The Last Hero is about he goes to a place and does a thing.
Oh, no, that's right.
Yeah, but that one's the illustrated one. That's the weird one.
Yes, it's the...
Eric was illustrated, but
Kind of.
Yeah, but this one is really illustrated. You'll see.
I feel like, just like we've been saying, now this is the first real Discworld book. We'll be saying, well, now this is the last Rincewind book.
Please, God, let this be the last Rincewind book.
If you're a Rincewind apologist,
I want to say on behalf of
I'm not that sorry
to all the Rincewind apologists, I'm sorry that all of his books are bad. He's not the worst character. He just is kind of in some ways, and also his books were either the really early ones that weren't very good, or they're interesting times, which is interesting times.
Not all of them are bad because of Rincewind.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes they're bad. They would be bad even if Rincewind was nowhere near them, which is where he's trying to be at all times anyways.
He just wants to escape these shitty books.
We have yet to have a book that's good in spite of Rincewind being in it. Anyways, this isn't about Rincewind, goddammit.
Yeah.
Rincewind was wisely far away from this book.
It will be next month when we cover The Last Continent on this podcast. Until then, thank you for listening to Discoverers, the Jingo edition. We really appreciate you making it all this way with us.
We should make t-shirts that said, I got jingoed by Discoverers.
No, we shouldn't.
Well, we should sell Frisbees. There we go.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I'll do it.
You do. Okay, before you keep going, Jingo is an actual, word.
Oh, I know. It's just a funny word to say.
Yeah.
It apparently originated in a British song about going to war with Turkey, which Vetinari references in this book by saying, oh yeah, we have no ships, no men, and no money too. Where the original song is like, we don't want to go to war with Turkey, but by Jingo, if we do, we have the ships, we have the men, we have the money too. So it came to mean malevolent nationalism because of that song, but it is also just fucking gibberish to fill a musical meter. So
yes.
Yeah, it's 'cause, you can't say, by God we do or whatever.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to sing it then because it would be too sacrilegious for the army, and God would strike them down where they stood, and the world would be saved from England, which would have been a good thing.
That's true.
They should do what My Little Pony fans do and replace it with Pony, because it's another
Pony
two-syllable
if
world.
we do.
I think Princess Celestia has done about as much colonialism as I've seen.
Equestria is Fantasy America, but I have a different podcast for that. I will simply say, there are if you want to sing a certain Friendship is Witchcraft song about a Pinkie Pie as some kind of bard.
No, we're not.
Yeah,
we're not bringing that in here.
There you go.
Anyways,
this is a podcast about the problems with Terry Pratchett's books, not about the problems with American multimedia franchise My Little Pony. Which
I have a different podcast for that.
We'll do a separate ranking podcast where we meet together after you've finished watching all of your stuff and we've read all of these, where we decide which one is more racist.
There will be a several-year gap after which Discoverers will come back. That'll be pretty funny.
Which franchise is more? Ooh, those were some choices you shouldn't have made.
I could get my other podcast, Sand Job, in here. We can talk about, is the Sandman comic series more or less racist than either of these? Not an easy thing to answer if I'm being real. We've already hit some pretty rocky ass roads.
If you have a podcast franchise that you want to fight with us about it being more racist, don't do that.
Come join our racist podcast tournaments.
I could bring in Warehouse 69 too, but
I'm Iris J, also known as... Oh no, I forgot. Before I go into introductions, we have some fan mail that I can read.
yeah, woo!
Fan mail.
I'm more of a fan female, but go ahead.
Yes. From our multiple-time correspondent, Jace. Subject line, Jingo sucks, but since I'm a generally positive person, I gotta mention my 2 positive thoughts. Hey, y'all! Sorry you had to read the racism book, but because I like to find the little bright sides, I want to mention...
One of the racism books.
This is the one that's actually about racism instead of just being racist.
Fair. I wanted to mention the 2 things I liked. The thing Pratchett did on purpose and the thing Pratchett did on accident that was sort of gender. Number 1, the I'm supposed to keep the peace I am. If I kill people to do it, I'm reading the wrong manual quote is rad as hell. It's too bad it's in this book and not like Night Watch or something. It's such a succinct and dramatic explanation on Pratchett's philosophy on what the job of a cop is, that being that cops shouldn't kill people. Agreed. Number 2, I know that Nobby's time as a woman is supposed to fit into the oh-so-classic man in dress equals funny bit, like with how wholeheartedly he went into the role. Kind of gender, though. Shrug.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah.
With love.
Yeah.
Jace, stay itchy. Yeah.
We all think that.
Jace.
We all wish it was better.
Yeah,
Yes.
we all stand a problematic trans femme gremlin.
Also, from Karma, the person who drew our lovely episode art, last episode. Hi, it's Karma. I wanted to thank you for an excellent podcast and your kind words about my art. Because of Discoverers, I messaged my partner. These podcasters are bringing their collective furry porn experience to bear to quibble with that scene in Small Gods that implies external eagle balls.
Received
several...
Hi, Bear.
Bear isn't even here right now. Hi, Bear, if you're listening. Received several quite anguished question remarks in response, and thereby learned that they had actually only read a couple of Discworld books. They talk about how much they like Moist von Lipwig. I made assumptions. So, we've read Small Gods together, we're planning to read more, and it's been very pleasant. Thank you again, and good luck with Jingo, lol. And also, Karma sent us a fantastic piece of fan art, which I will not reveal, because I will be using it as a future episode art piece. So,
We'll be using it as a future episode art piece if the
subject shows up in another book.
If our girl shows up again. If the other unofficial transgender mascot of Discover shows up.
Yeah, we were talking about, like, can we make Robot Girl Hex our mascot? Can we put her on the turtle with us?
I can make this happen, yes. We should do that.
Beautiful.
Well, let's wait until I think she does show up in the last continent.
Yeah.
So let's wait and read it and make sure.
Yeah,
she
we
doesn't
kind of spoiled that it's more art of Hex, by the way.
It's Hex, yeah.
I just want to make sure that we don't read the book and go find the part where Hex goes on a long racist rant or something. And we're like, oh, Pratchett, why?
No. Hex pulls a ChatGPT.
All things strive, all things hate Aboriginal Australians.
What?
Jesus Christ.
I mean, we regret to inform you that the Robot Girl Hex has done an AI Jerry Seinfeld and did a Type 5 about being transphobic.
Oh, no!
Well, I'm pretty sure she shows up in the next book, so she will probably be the art of the next episode. And if not, we will be talking about how bad Pratchett did her character and how good she showed up.
Yeah.
I will simply choose not to see it.
Speaking
and I
of
will
fix
choose
it,
to look at this art.
Girl.
Speaking of fix.
Yeah. So, I'm Iris J. You can find me at Iris J Comics. I'm also on social media, Iris J Comics at mellify.men on the Fediverse, or Iris J Comics at co-host, Tumblr, Pillowfort, and Twitter if it still exists by the time you listen to this. I'm sorry, maybe it's X Corp now.
Me, I'm trying to have Sex Corp. Thank you.
Yeah, how about that, Elon? Put that in your pipe and fucking smoke it. Got him, baby.
Got him.
I have for things to promote. I don't know if I have a lot to promote right now. I'm working on. Oh yeah, I have a new comic over at Filthy Figments called Wet Floor. It's about a night janitor who ends up having a romantic dalliance with the ghost of a demolished bathhouse in human form. It's real fun.
yeah.
It's very spooky.
Hell
A
yeah.
little bit about gentrification. All my comics are about gentrification these days. I have no idea why. As for the thing I'm going to recommend that isn't Discworld, I have been playing a game by Love Conquers All Game Studio, run by a dev named Christine Love primarily, called Get in the Car, Loser. That is it's a turn-based RPG, but it's also kind of a rhythm game because a lot of it has cooldown mechanics, and it's about being this gay disaster trans lesbian who gets picked up by her friend Grace, and then it's got a Grace in it, and then Grace's non-binary boyfriend Valentine to go on a road trip to slay the machine devil, which is a somewhat thinly veiled metaphor for the rise of neo-fascism. It's a very cute game. It deals with some heavy stuff, but also some real. It's one of those games. It's like it's a heartwarming queer narrative, but like it doesn't like skimp on like, hey, being queer fucking sucks shit sometimes. Like it feels real, which is nice, and I'm really enjoying it. I don't play a lot of turn-based RPGs, so it's a little out of my wheelhouse, but I'm having quite a good time with it, and I'd like more people to purchase it because being an indie game dev is hard. So get in the car, Loser. Look for it in the show links, or just look for it on itch.io. It's there.
I am still Belina. I am most easily found on the show notes, but don't worry, if you need to, you don't need to find me, I will find you.
Yay. What's the thing you want to recommend?
Oh, crap. I recommend figuring that out before recording next time.
Okay.
That's valid,
very
honestly.
wise.
Very wise.
Yeah. Wait, no, I have to go last because I went first. Grace, you go.
Okay. So I have been the internet's beloved Princess Grace. You can find my writing programs, podcast posts, and everything else to spit up like at princess.software.
Always sounds so good.
Thank you. I practice. As for things I worked on to promote, so as of tomorrow, 4/20, which by the time this episode comes out will be sometime in the past, so you can go do this right now. Alien Swarm Reactive Drop is having its big birthday anniversary, including a lot of cool updates, and I wrote all the entries for the Swarmopedia. I wrote like 10,000 fucking words of like the gayest, most anti-capitalist shit I could fit inside this, continuation of a Valve game from 2008 about shooting aliens in space. So I'm really proud of it. Also, the game's pretty good. Check it out, Alien Swarm Reactive Drop. It's free on Steam.
I'm really hyped for this. I actually played a bunch of Alien Swarm when it first came out, so this rules.
Hell yeah. And as for things I didn't work on, Carousel, the album by Violet Pony, is what I've been listening to a lot these days. It's pretty good gay transgender horse music. But it's also just like good. It was like, I don't know if it still is, but it was like the #1 album overall on RateYourMusic.com, despite being a My Little Pony album, which usually like it turns some people up, but it's just fucking good. And I love horse music regardless. It's good.
And I'm Juniper. You can find me, I don't know, on co-host. Do co-host this time. I like that website, at Juniper Theory. I don't really have anything to plug. Still dealing with health issues. Hopefully going to get that figured out and then eventually be able to work on some stuff. But as far as stuff I'm not working on, I'm gonna recommend The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. The visual novel they put out for April Fool's Day, because the April Fool's joke is that it's just a really fun visual novel that makes you understand why people love Sonic characters so much. It's great. It's like 2 hours and it's really fun. Great stuff.
Yes.
Everyone should play it.
Cool.
Also, I recommend that you think about Robot Girl Hex more than you think about the book we read, because that's what I'm going to do as soon as we finish.
Same. I'm going to wipe all of this knowledge from my memory, and the next time somebody's like, "Hey, you gotta read Jingo ever again?" I'll be like, "I'll listen to that podcast episode I recorded about it once." I'm sure it's better than I remember, but I really just want to be on the safe side. This is really like future Iris. If you're listening to this, don't fucking do it. You already know what happens. You just forgot about it because I told you to wipe your memory.
Hi, future
but
Iris.
Trust me.
You're still really
also,
cool. I appreciate your company.
Yeah, also, nice tits, future
friend.
Iris.
Hey, future Iris, you're hot.
Yeah, if we ever figure out a way to do some time paradox fuckage, call me, and we'll work something out.
Iris,
it'll be great.
You're also hot.
Call me, and we will have had worked something out.
Ooh. Anyways, truly it was, we done got jingoed. This is Discoverers. Keep disking, folks. Have a good night.
Follow your dreams, every pony. Mwah.
And cut.